Okay, this is segment 2 in our Sit and Stitch for Learning Disabilities Association. We are working on a mitered square blanket that everybody will hopefully come to the shop and participate by making a square, building onto the blanket that we've got going. So this, we have just cast on, picked up the stitches for the next square, and we have set the square, set the miter of the square by knitting 2 together on the wrong side row. We're now on a right side row, and we're going to knit across this row all the way with nothing else, just knitting. Every stitch until the last stitch when we do the selvage again. So I'm just going to knit this row. So on the right side rows, you just knit. All the activity creating the miter is done on the wrong side rows. So when I get to the marker, I'm just going to move it from one needle to the next. I'm almost there. And to move the marker, I just stick my needle in it and move it over from one needle to the next and continue on with my row. It's so much fun to watch each square get built and watch the miter happen and then see all the colors blend together. So I'm approaching the end of the row, and on the last stitch we're going to do a selvage stitch, and I'll show you how to do that again. Every row needs to have a selvage stitch at the end. Okay, I've knit the second to last stitch, and I'm going to bring the yarn between the 2 needles to the front, and then I'm going to take the last stitch as if to purl. I'm going to slide it from one needle to the next, and then I'm going to turn around. And now I'm on the wrong side row, and we're going to do the decrease when we get to the marker. So I'm going to knit across to 2 stitches before the marker. Every miter row is done with 2 stitches before the markers when we start doing things. So get there, just knitting. This is also a nice project for people that are beginners because they're just knitting, and the decrease is a pretty easy decrease to learn. They need to know decreases for down the road, so it's kind of a nice skill for them to learn. Okay, I am now at 2 stitches before the marker, and I am now going to slip those 2 stitches knitwise together, putting my needle in and coming up like that and just sliding them over to the right needle. I'm going to remove my marker because it gets in the way. I'm going to knit the next stitch, and then I'm going to put my needle into those 2 slip stitches, and I'm going to bring them up and over and off the right needle. Then I'm going to put my marker back, and then I'm going to finish my row. Every row gets decreased by 2 stitches, and the marker goes right back in its place, and for the next time you do a wrong side row, the marker is right where you need to know, so you go to the 2 stitches before the marker. And I'm coming up to that selvage. I'll show you that one more time. Bringing the yarn between the 2 needles to the front, and then slipping it as if to purl and off the needle. And now I'm ready for a right side row.